Sure. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome. And today we'll be covering a bunch of things that we have recently released around contacts, opportunities, and a really exciting item called custom objects that we are currently working on. Hope my voice is audible to everyone clearly. And I'll just
Yep,
get started.
we can hear you great.
Awesome. So let me start sharing my screen now and take you through a few things that we have recently released and also a bunch of things that we are planning to work on. Just give me 1 second. Never mind. Hope you can see my screen.
Yep, we can see it.
Cool. I would just want to quickly call out. So I'd love for this discussion to be interactive. I'd be taking you through a bunch of flows and things that we are going to be presenting. And cool. Just give me a second. So for some reason, yeah, much better. Cool. So first thing that we released recently was the option to delete and restore contacts. And we already had that functionality. And going forward, we updated the design and moved this to a new architecture. There's a limit also that we have introduced to load balance our architecture and for all of us to be able to seamlessly delete and restore. There were some issues that people used to incur using these features earlier, and now that should not happen. So that's the first release. This is currently in labs under the name bulk delete new architecture. And this is supposed to go live on the 5th of August. The next item is tag architecture update and restore. So again, this is under labs through two different um, tags. One is bulk tags new architecture. The second one is bulk tags restore. Uh, Planned to go live on 19th August. This has three different parts. One is the updating of architecture for tags for both adding and removing. The second bit is now there's an option to remove all tags under remove tags as well. So you will be able to remove all tags from the selected contacts in one go instead of having to select every single tag that you wanted to remove from all of these contacts. And the last one and the biggest one actually, which is through the other labs feature, is the ability to restore all tags that you have removed. So now when you, and I'll just maybe go give you a quick demo. So when you remove a certain set of tags, whatever you name the action, and let's say I'm just removing all tags for sake of simplicity. And when I go here, I should have an option called restore. So you will be able to restore all the tags that just got removed. So that's the second thing that we recently released. Sorry,
Hey
coming
Pallavi,
back.
I have a question. So let's say I have a bunch of workflows that run when a particular tag is added to a contact,
Hmm.
and now let's say I select a bunch of contacts, I remove that tag on them, and then I realized, oh crap, I did not mean to remove them, so I restore them.
Yep.
So once the tag is added back to those contacts using the restore feature,
Mm-hmm.
will the automations fire again?
Yep. And we have also mentioned that in the restore pop-up that yes, one, the automations will fire again. So you'll have to be very cognizant if you want to actually restore all tags or not. So
Amazing. So we have put that warning over there, right?
yeah.
Nice. Good work.
Cool. Tanya, do you have a question on this?
Yeah, I was wondering, is there a plan to be able to, within a contact record, within an individual contact card, to do bulk adding of tags in the future? So I know like in automations, we can add bulk calendars or bulk forms. Can we do bulk adding of tags within a contact record sometime in the future? So like in the contact record, I'm looking at this individual person. When I go to the contact card, I can only add one. I can add one tag and then
Right.
it starts all over again. So I have to go through the process. Is there going to be a bulk add in the contact record at some point?
Like you want to add multiple tags inside a contact record?
Yeah, so I
Yes,
think
at
just go to
once.
smart list. Let's look at that experience once.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's say you are at the smart list. How do you add a tag?
Just select either you can add a, like go to a contact and add a tag inside here on the bottom, like there are tags. You can just select whatever tags you want to add. You can
Yeah,
either do it.
I think the feedback is, can we not close the modal and have it open? I think it closes every time you select or you search. So I think they want to
Yes,
select multiple at the same time.
that's
Awesome.
it. I would like to
So
have a checkbox in the long list to say I want to add these tags.
Which makes sense. Actually, we are updating the components that we use, and if you would actually see the new places, I mean, especially in the add tag modal, this one would be a little easier to add tags to, and we plan to do that. So here you can just keep on selecting. I think this should be
amazing. So we already have the front end component ready. We just need to update it on the contact record screen as well. Awesome.
That would be awesome. Yes, so that I don't have to go to the smart list. I don't have to do it from bulk upload if I can do it directly from the contact card. Because if I'm manually entering a contact, that would make my life, that would be amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dutch Saxon.
So with a bulk action, if I do by mistake, for example, I have 100 contacts, 60 have a tag, I delete all the tags.
Yep.
How I see the restore function, I can only do one by one to restore a contact, right? But if I don't know which ones had the tag, it's not that you, if you do something by mistake, for example, you remove 60 out of the 100 contacts that you have, but you have no clue which ones that were. It's not that you can reverse that, or am I mistaken?
So if you bulk remove tags, that's a bulk action, right? So you can go to the bulk action, and that's where the option is to restore the tag.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
So if you end up removing a tag mistakenly from 60 contacts, you can reverse it on all the 60 contacts.
But you didn't need to know which 60 that are, right?
No, you
Yeah,
can. I
but-
mean, so it's just one bulk action on your screen. So if you go here, it's actually going to be like just one bulk action, and you just have to go here and click on restore. Okay, I'm sorry, the modal should have come. I'll check why it did not come, but yeah, it just basically starts restoring.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Let's
Yeah,
note that down.
I love it
We need to-
because it's going to be dummy proof for like clients that using it. So, you know, if a client is doing something stupid, we can reverse it. So thank you so much.
And are we writing all of this in the audit logs?
The bulk tag, yes, should be there.
Awesome.
It also. So yeah, the tag addition happened when I restored and the removing when I.
Amazing. Cool. And it shows the username also there. Nice. Good job.
Cool. Going forward, we had a bunch of feedback on list view, and thank you so much for all of that feedback. And the top ones were where we wanted to add more sorting options and more column options in the already existing list view, and we made a lot of changes to that. So now you have a few more sorting options like state, status, last state change at, last state this change at in the list view, and also you have other columns like additional contacts, company name, email, phone, last status change date, and the last stage date that last stage change date in the list view. So we added all of that, and just wanted to quickly flag the list view is planned to go live on the 12th of August. And if you have any CSS or JS changes that might be breaking because of these updates, would request you to please look into them. and get them updated. Thank you so much. Next up is a form or survey builder change that I just wanted to call out because it also impacts how custom fields work currently. So now if you go to forms or surveys, you will be able to quickly drag and drop different fields on your form and survey. And these fields actually end up also creating on your contacts custom field. So this is a new way in which custom fields might get created under your contacts. And yeah, just wanted to quickly call it out. If you have not tried out this feature, it's a great feature and it's already live for everyone. So do check it out.
What does
Awesome.
that mean? You just said the custom fields get added to your contacts. What does that mean?
Okay, so basically, even earlier when you would be creating a form, or maybe let me just go to forms. I'm sorry. So earlier, if you were building a form or if you were updating a form, and the only way to add fields to this form was through this add button on the top, which would actually end up creating custom fields also for your contact. So basically how it used to work is whenever you create a form and you get information from your contacts, the different fields that are there on the form actually also create this also creates a contact and fills in all of these fields under that contact. So for example, if you were adding a field over here, and this was the way we used to do it earlier, where you would add this field over here, then the source of contact would be a field under your contact as well, which would start populating the data that you used to get from this form. Now with the quick add option, if you just drop in, let's say, a multi-line field over here, it creates a field and it also creates a custom field on your contact. So now if a person fills this particular form, the custom field is already created in your contact. You will start seeing all of the information that you're collecting through this form in this particular field on the contact as well under the same name.
Okay.
Matthew, do you have a
Yeah.
question on this?
I would love a way for there to be standard custom form or standard custom fields on a form. Currently, I don't think you could even do that with workflows.
What does that mean?
So you're saying that like you've got a form that or a set of custom fields you use on every form and you want that to be like almost like a saved global section similar to how funnels work?
No, so currently we have our clients filling out their business profile on a form, and then we have to go back and copy those results to their business profile. And a lot of those are standard or system custom fields. So it'd be great to have like a way to update standard or system custom fields, if that makes sense.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
I'm
Oh.
sorry, I could not get the question.
Yeah,
So
so-
like a
So
standard
essentially
or
what he's
system.
saying is that for standard fields that we have like in the business profile, he wants a
Mhm.
way for a form to be able to update those for a particular sub account is what I'm
So
hearing.
Exactly.
Are those custom values, if I'm not wrong?
They are, but you can't update them. Like as an example, account email or account business email, those are, you can't update those with a form.
Okay.
So an automation to take a field into a value.
Yes, but for a system value.
Right.
Yeah, and you can't see them either. Like you can't see them to use them in some places as well.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I think we're talking about certain fields, and I think you gave us a few examples. So let us run that down. I think we were talking about account, business, email, and there was a business name, I think, or account business name.
Anything
Yeah.
else?
I think
Fields.
In the sub account. So these are the custom values would be specific to a sub account. So I think they want to update custom values from the forms that they are sending out to the customers. Matthew, did I understand that right?
No, not quite. So if you go to business profile, there's certain fields there, such as like business email, EIN number, like all of that
go into
can't
the
be
settings.
updated.
So it's
Settings.
And this
Yeah,
this
so
is
all
what
of
we're talking about.
exactly business email, legal business name, those are all standard fields, I think is what the official is what they're called.
Mhm.
It would be nice to have those on a form or have them mapped to this particular field.
But
Okay.
Matthew, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is at a sub-account level. So you'd only want to fill this form once, right? Like on a contact level, you can have 100 contacts fill up this form. To update sub-account details, you'll only have, like per sub-account, you'll only have one form.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
the challenge, I mean, we could definitely run this down, but the challenge is kind of twofold the way I see it. One, you kind of have a security challenge where if anybody can fill out the form, they can change critical details about the sub account. So that could be bad, like, email address and stuff like that. And then the second part is kind of what he's mentioning is like, well, what if they fill it out once and then they make an erroneous submission again? Yeah, we'd have to kind of think through that. Charles?
Just a thought. I don't think it'll work like this currently because of security protocols, but what if you didn't I could see so many issues with end users having that, being able to drop those fields into a form. Just adding a lot of confusion. However, I can see the use case where maybe he wants to create an onboarding form where they just fill out a simple form and it backfills those values, so it makes it easier for like the onboarding process.
Yes.
For me, the way that I see it would be that if we can make sure that custom values will work in those fields. Because that way, the people that want to do what Matthew is talking about, at least there is a way to back into it. It's not exposing any security. It's very intentional. It's done at the agency. The agency would set up that form to say for that sub account or be part of their snapshot. That's their decision as an agency. But then it doesn't expose the plethora of problems that would come from exposing those in the form builder for an end user to go in there and say, oh, well, business name, drag the wrong business name in there, and now their sub account just got named to their client's business name. Just because maybe they're brand new and they didn't understand it. But if we could make it to where we could use custom values in those fields, Matthew could build a form with custom values for that sub account. It could be part of his snapshot, and he could have it as a custom button or a custom menu link. Hey, click here, fill out this form, and it'll fill out everything in your sub account's business details. And really, all they're doing is filling out a custom form that is built off of custom fields. And he has those custom fields. His team would go in and map them into there so they don't have to worry about it. If they ever want to change their business details, they just fill out the form again. It'll automatically update through the custom values, but it doesn't expose any security risk or potential putting the wrong business name, the end user putting the business name of the sub account as a field versus the actual business name of the contact. So I could see both sides of it. I just,
Couldn't
to
we
me,
just
that's the safest way.
couldn't we separate it so we have like sections? So workflows, all the actions triggers have sections, all these different fields are in categories. Couldn't we just have a different category for company? So you have contacts and you have company. Couldn't that be like a solution there?
So like contact opportunity, and then there might be something called company. So I think the business thing that we are talking
Exactly.
about is, yeah, I think the business thing that we are talking about so far is something that's very integral to the sub account. But if we talk about, bringing in company custom fields and everything over here as well, so that's something that we have planned, not in the current quarter, but most likely by next quarter is somewhere we should be able to get in company custom fields also on this form. That being said, I think the business name, we can understand where you might be coming from, and we will also share it, but it might not be something that it might not be something that might be a very common use case, or maybe you can share it in the ideas board and we'll see if that's something that a lot of people want.
Yeah.
How can we do it? Because there are pros and cons to it.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's a very tight use case. And that's why I said if we can use custom values, the people that want to do that, I mean, I wouldn't ever personally do that in any of my sub accounts. I can see Matthew's point. So if he could use custom values, that might halfway solve it for him, make it a little bit easier without creating a problem for the rest of us that would definitely not want that exposed in that way.
Yeah, I agree with Charles. I think my biggest challenge is user onboarding. So if there's a way in which we can actually make it easier for users to be onboarded, i.e. provide a link that just can be sent to a group of users in an email, and they click on that link and they're able to then onboard themselves. That for me is a much easier use case, because almost every week, at least once a week, I'm getting questions around user not being able to access their accounts, or how do I load a new user or something along those lines. So
got it, Ikshan. Thank you so much for sharing. I would be able to transfer that information to the forms team, and we'll share that feedback. And if you can add it to the ideas board, that'd be great as well.
Very cool.
So the next thing I wanted to talk about is another major feature that we released, which was allowing multiple contacts for an opportunity. This was done last month, and this is also currently in labs. I forgot to add the labs here, but yeah, never mind. So you can now add multiple contacts in an opportunity, and this is a really big change for us, because with this we have built an entire framework for how associations can work on our platform, and we plan to build a lot of other features with associations, and some cool stuff we'll be showing you in a couple of slides. But
So
with this, we launched this entire associations framework through which for now you can start associating contacts with opportunities and see multiple contacts under the same opportunity.
can we submit a form? So we're a travel, my solution is for travel agents. And so when when we have additional travelers and we do a travel profile, we have a form that says, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people coming. Will that work, or that still does not work with this solution?
So currently forms still work with the primary contact and the primary contact details. The additional contact would not be able to, update that form for you for now. But I have noted that feedback, and we also plan to bring in more use cases where you will be able to use additional contacts in the upcoming quarters. So feedback taken on how we can enable forms.
So this would be a manual update. So we're using the opportunities as trip records. So if I have a trip, I've got 5 people that are going. I capture that as additional travelers as a form. I could not run an automation to then update the opportunity with these additional associations, or I'd have to do that manually.
Yep. Currently, there is so we do plan to bring in more automations for opportunities in the upcoming releases. But yeah, currently there is no workflow that can update additional contacts. But
okay, to update the additional contacts associated with an opportunity. Okay.
Not yet. But yeah, we do have it in the plans to add more use cases on. I've noted on the feedback. We'll surely land for the upcoming quarters.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on, would love to talk about custom objects. So we did a small beta release for custom objects, and this was to a very small set of customers, and this was mostly around being able to test out how custom objects is doing, how it's working for us, and we plan to bring in more features like associations. So just let me give you a quick run through of how custom objects look like in our beta version, and then we'll also show you a few things, a few very exciting things that we are currently working on, and how we plan to bring it live to you. So currently, if you go to your sub, I mean, like if a beta user would go to their sub account or and go to settings, they'll be able to see this custom objects option in there, and they can create a new custom object. So you can just call it, let's say I'm just doing the car, a custom object, and let's just think of a use case where I am a car dealer, or I run a car service center, and I want to be able to maintain, what are the different cars that I have, uh, been servicing, and what are the spare parts I have, and for all of those reasons, I want a custom object for car. I think we already have it, so just let me update it to, I guess, this should do. And I can then create a primary field, and that can be an identification number. And this will be a required field that I'll have to add in for every single card that I add in my system. So let's just call it ID number for now, and it can be a single line text field. I would also need to be able to add a description. So I'm just creating car object to store information about the different cars in my inventory, let's say. And I can even update it so I can to find something that is more related to what I'm working on, and let's say car icon, and I create this custom object. So now with this, I would be able to start seeing a brand new custom object, and this is start showing here, and also on my left sidebar on my home screen. I can then go and create a bunch of custom fields or custom folders for this custom object as well. So I can either create a new folder, and let's say price of that car is what I want to store, and I select the custom object that I just created, and I can create a new folder for it. I can also add more fields into the new custom object that I just created. So let's say I just want to store price or whatever, I should be able to do that. And I'll have to select the object as the custom object that I created, and I can either put it in a new folder, or we also create a default folder by default called car info. And so you can just put up like create a custom field like that. You can save it. And with that, you can now go to cars, which is the new custom object that you are seeing on your left sidebar. You go here and you can start creating new records for this custom object. So I can create a new car record, and I just give it an ID number, whatever I want, and save it, and it'll start appearing here. You can also add more information about it. Let's say I want to add the price, so $526 or whatever I want to add, I can add it over here. And I can even add owners and followers for it, and this will follow the same philosophy that we do for contacts and opportunities right now. So you can have an owner or a follower for that card, and you can assign that particular object to any user that you might have. You can save all of those details, and that should start appearing on your screen. So this list view that you can see is similar to the updated list view that we recently made for opportunities. So you should be able to see the card and its created date, updated date. You can manage fields here after you add a bunch of columns. You can also sort this based on created, updated at, and those are some things that you can currently do. There are two things that we want to do right after this for custom objects. And the first one of them is associations. And I will pause now. And I would also want Chitra, if you're there, would you be able to share your screen and give us a quick walkthrough of how associations would look like for us?
Yes. So question in the chat. We're going to be able to use custom objects in documents, workflows, other modules within the app.
So all of those things are planned. The current plan is to first build the base architecture and associations. Right after this, we will also work on workflows. We are actually working on workflows parallelly, and that's something that we are planned for around the. So by the time workflows, associations, and this entire record structure is tested and done, it should be out for you guys. Hopefully by the end of the next month is what we have planned. Once we have all of them done, we also plan to bring in other features like forms, conversations, documents, etc. And those are all things that we are also chalking out details about. But yeah, we plan to bring in a bunch of other things as well. Forms and conversations were two things that we are already starting to discuss. And also import functionality. These are things that we have started to discuss, but we do plan to update our priorities and also keep getting feedback from you guys so that we can also understand what are the top use cases that you guys want to solve with custom objects and be able to serve you better.
Cool. All right, so relationships. This is exciting.
Thank you, Purvi. Yeah. So I'll just start with the demo. Is my screen visible?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So here we'll have another tab for associations, where we'll be able to create associations for this particular custom object. This is a demo, so I'll be starting from scratch for a custom object. Let's pick tenants. So here for tenants also there's one. For rented houses, there is no association as of now. So the landing page for the associations will be something like this, where you'll be able to start creating your associations. You'll be able to see the custom object list over here and also the contacts. So currently we'll be allowing the users to create custom objects to custom object relationships and also with the contacts. So we can make two associations here, one with contact and one with another custom object. We can give it a label. It can be a single label or a pair of labels. Single label signifies that that association is going to have one label both ways. Means rented houses to contacts will also be called the label that we give. Let's say rented house contact, and contacts to rented houses will also be called as rented house to contact label only. So either we can create two label or we can create a pair of labels also. So let's first go with the pair of labels and we'll name them differently. Contact per house, and this will be called house. Or let's say let's name it otherwise, just to remove the confusion. House to contact and contact to house. These will be the two labels that we'll be giving. Now, currently we are not going to allow the users to change the relationship over here. They'll all be many to many relationship. So many rented houses can be labeled as many contacts, or many contacts can be labeled as many houses. This is the preview that you'll be able to see, where we're simply displaying how is it related to each other and what will be the label and what will the relationship actually be called. Once you save it, you'll be able to see it here in the list. You can edit the label later on if you want to, but the key that has been assigned to it will be static and it won't be able to be changed. You can change the pair of labels to a single label, or you can change the text inside that label itself. So that can be done. Let's create, just a second. Let's create one more association over there with another custom object as well. So let's pick tenants. Let's name it as a rented house for tenants, or simply house for tenants. Let's save it. Yeah, so this will be available in the rented houses also, and the labels and the custom objects that we have given over here. So in the rented houses, you'll be able to see. Also in the tenants, you'll be able to see those associations because these are bidirectional. So we can see the house for tenants label over here also. And once you open it to edit, you will be able to see the label and the object that it is associated with. Now, if you want to, if you go to this tab where you can update the data actually, where I have a list of tenants, rented houses and tickets over here. Let's do it one by one. Here you can associate tenants with the rented houses actually. So you can select the rented houses. I have a list of rented houses. Let's say I'm naming one. I can give the label over here. Currently, we have only created one label for that house to tenants. So only one is available. If we give multiple labels, then we can add multiple labels over here and we can associate these two objects, that is this house and this particular tenant that we selected, with this label. So let's try one more time and let's give one more label so that we'll have more options. Associations. we can have multiple associations between two custom objects and custom objects to contacts. So let's give it another label. Let's say label 2 and save it. Now let's go here. Let's add it for Google. This is association, rented house. Let me add for these two. I will be able to see two labels over here, house for tenants and label 2 that we just created. Now I am adding label 2 and house for tenants for this one and only this for house for tenants. Yeah. So here you will be able to see that Cougar is now associated with this house by this label, house for tenants, and label 2 association label, and it is associated with 84/210 by house for tenants. So this is how you'll be able to create relations between two custom objects. And also you can create, so I have created for contacts also. So let me give you example that can be used actually. So tickets, I have a list of tickets over here and I have created an association between tickets and contacts. So I can add a contact over here actually, testing, and I can choose the labels that I want to give. So let's say contact ticket, contact to ticket and seller, and I can save it. Now I'll be able to say that this ticket is associated with this contact by these association labels. So this is the relation between two custom objects or contacts and custom objects.
So when you release this, I understand the relationships that you just said. How will the user like I would set this up as the agency owner, but how would my client use this? Would they just set up I'm using your example, would they set up rental houses, they have tenants, and they have to manually do this association, or will it be like the opportunities where it's a form, drops in, we can write an automation, and it drops it into this custom object?
Right. So great question, Sandy. So once we have associations also rolled out, the next thing that we are actually working on is workflows for custom objects. So with workflows coming in, you will be able to associate between, contacts or update associations, and also update the associated contacts or update the associated objects for a particular object directly through workflows. So that should be able to help. Creating an association through a workflow might not be there in the immediate plan, but that's something that we have made a note of and will sort of call for.
Because right now the interface is for opportunities, the way that you guys have it designed, the interface is the opportunity interface. Is there going to be an interface for the custom objects that our clients can use?
So the screen that you are currently seeing is the interface for custom objects. So basically, the one that you can see on the screen, it's basically a custom object called tickets, and you are seeing the different tickets that are there for your system. You can go to any of these tickets and you can update the association directly from here. So you can just go to any of the records. Yeah.
And just to add to that as well, Sundi, I think today what you would be doing, you would have like 5 fields on a contact, let's say car name, car price, car model. You can continue to do it. You will have a new action in workflows called create custom object. So a person can fill the form, the workflow gets triggered, and then you have a create custom object. In that create custom object, you can take the contact fields and create a car, and that car gets created along with the association in that contact. And so not directly from forms, but from forms to workflows, and then from workflows to an object will be possible probably in the beta release itself.
Yeah, so the user, I mean, I would never want my client to have to do that part. They would just get the form, and then I'd build the automation on the back end to build that piece, and then they would just be interacting it with the form that we would build. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's how you can.
Let me just ask you this. It'd be great if custom objects, like even though the development of the thing, the way that you guys have built opportunities and the way that you can workflow and move them down different pipelines, having a custom object do that same thing, but have us be able to define it through the custom object field, that would be really slick.
I could not. Yeah.
The whole opportunity interface is in it of itself intuitive for people who aren't techie like us, right? They get an opportunity, it drops in, we can define stages for them, and it moves. It has all the fields that they need to interact. If we could do that same thing for custom objects, like that same behavior, but it's defined by us by the way that we define the custom object, that would be very intuitive for clients.
Makes sense. Got it. We're trying to ensure that the features that we are making going forward are as intuitive and as easy to understand as possible. That's also one of our top areas or top priorities that we are working towards.
Okay, this is good though, the association. You're doing the same thing for opportunities too, though, the same association that you've created, you're going to do that for opportunities?
So opportunities is not planned for the current quarter. That's something that we do want to do, and it would be planned for the upcoming quarters where we would be able to associate opportunities with custom objects or opportunities with the other, but mostly with custom objects. That's something that we want to do in the upcoming quarter, not in the current quarter.
Well, we're right at the end of this quarter, so I'm looking forward to that.
Cool.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thanks,
It's exciting.
Thank you.
Cool. So one more quick feature that I want to demo is bulk edit of opportunities. That's another interesting and exciting thing that we have been receiving a lot of requests for. So with this, you will be able to, so I'll not, I think we are already running short and we have a bunch of things to cover. So I'll just be a little quick here. So you can now select, in the list view, you'll be able to select multiple opportunities. Click on this edit icon on the top and be able to edit, and not just one, but multiple fields for those opportunities in one go. So you can just select, let's say I just want to update all of these opportunities owner, and I want to add Virendra, and let's say I just want to also update their gender, which is a custom field, and I want to change it to female. For all of these 4 at once, I can just do that quite easily. And we default a name, and you can always change it to a name that suits your action better. And you can confirm, and this should trigger a bulk action, and you can go to the bulk actions page for opportunities and be able to start seeing this action that you just took. And you can see the stats of what went well, what went well. If there's an error, we'll also show you the error that, for example, in this particular case, the opportunity had gotten deleted and was still showing. Maybe it got deleted while I was transitioning. So for whatever reasons, if something happens, we'll show you the correct errors, the success messages, and all of that. So that's one more feature that we are planning to bring in, and it's almost at the last few stages. So this should be coming out to you guys quite soon in the labs, through the lab stages. So those are the 2 demos. Just quickly taking you through a few other features that we are very close to rolling out. So we already rolled out importing for opportunities quite recently, and that allows you to import, and that's also in labs right now. So you can currently just select opportunity and be able to import them from, if you are moving from a different platform to ours, or if you just have a bunch of opportunity that you've collected over time, you want to import all of them through a CSV file in one go. With this release, you will be able to select both contacts and opportunities and be able to upload one single file which has multiple contacts plus multiple opportunities, and upload all of them to one single .csv file import. So that's one big release that we are working towards. I would strongly encourage everyone, if you can go to labs, try out this feature for import opportunities. And once we roll out import opportunities with contacts, you should be able to try those out as well. And this is also something that should be planned in the first couple of weeks of August itself. Next thing is daily summary reminders for tasks. So with this, you will be able to trigger reminders for your due tasks or overdue tasks. You can select what time do you want to receive that reminder at, and you will get a mail which will show all the different tasks that you have due on that particular day, or all the overdue ones that are there on that day. And you can go with a link to go to the task page to see the rest, and we'll just show the top 4, or we'll also show you the number of tasks. This can be triggered through all the 3 platforms, which is push, SMS, and email. So we'll be supporting all the three for the summary reminders as well. Tony, you have a question?
Where's the import field?
Yeah. Currently, the reminders are like 15, 30, 45, and an hour. Can we get that in days? Because ideally, if I have a task, I need to know days in advance, especially if it's a large task.
Mm-hmm. So currently, this will not be customizable at a task level. This is still going to be at a, the same reminder for all. But feedback noted, we can surely update this one to allow you to, change it to hours or days. And also, if for your specific use case, Tony, would you is it more like a common notification setting across all of your tasks, or is it for one specific task that you would want to change it?
Well, it depends on the task. I mean, if it's a simple task, it can be 50 minutes before, like attend a Zoom meeting. But if it's something like, finish designing a website, and I need to know that it's due in a week's time.
Got it.
And
So
then
on a task level, you would be able, you would want an option to be able to change your reminder. Is that right?
yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking an analogy here would be like when you set up an event on Google Calendar, you can set notifications for like, hey, I want to know about my friend's birthday a week in advance.
Right.
And then I want one more reminder like a day before, so I remember to call. I think that's what he's getting at.
Yeah.
It'd be a per task.
Thank you.
Got it. Thank you so much for the feedback. I've made a note of it and we'll surely see if we can. It's not there in the current quarter, but yeah, we can surely see if we can add that in the upcoming quarters.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. And next feature that I want to talk about, another feature that we should be rolling out most likely in August itself, is recurring tasks. So with recurring tasks, you should be able to allow a particular task to repeat every X number of days, hours, minutes, and you can also set it to ending on ending on a particular date or ending after a certain set of occurrences. And there's a special setting we also wanted to give you guys, and do put it in the chat if you find this particular setting useful. You should have an option. You would be basically having an option whether you want to create a new task, even if your previous task is overdue or not. So basically, let's say you have a task and that's not finished yet. You can control with this particular setting if you would want a new task to get created or not created, depending on whether that previous task is done or not done, or previous task is completed or not done. So, yep, that's one more major feature coming your way, which is allowing you to create recurring tasks. Another feature is being able to add different documents directly, basically different attachments in your inbound or outbound communication or conversation directly to your document section in contacts. So if you are in a conversation and you want to just, move this particular document that you have just sent or received via mail, you will have an option to add that particular document to your documents section, and it should start coming in as a new folder. I can't remember if you remember the name of the folder that will be coming in, and that would be helpful, but it'll be basically coming in a new folder in your document section.
Yeah. And it'll be called conversation attachments.
Cool.
Very
So
cool.
there are some major things that we have planned for the upcoming couple of months. Yeah, go ahead.
On the add documents, I mean, this is just my opinion. Shouldn't that automatically just be added into that contacts documents?
So Brandon,
It
we
seems
did
kind of redundant.
Yeah, so we actually looked at that feature, and we actually looked at a lot of other players as well. So in an email, any image, any small photograph, any attachment that you do is considered an attachment. And if you start doing it automatically, then your documents will get filled up with hundreds and hundreds of attachments, be it marketing emails, promotional emails, invoice emails that you're sending to the customer. So for now, it is case by case basis where you will decide it. But if we get enough feedback on it, and if you're able to share a Canny's link with us, and if the feedback grows, we'll add a setting where you can add these automatically without having to do them one by one. But today it is essentially there so that whatever you add is relevant. If we start adding automatically, every image, every small attachment that's there on every email will get added one after the other.
Yeah, and it's the same thing like on iOS, right? You get like a bunch of GIFs from your friend. You don't want that in your photo library, but individually you can be like, yeah, add that one to my photo library, add this one. So
Yeah, that can be pulled out of the email. I mean, I get what you're saying as far as like quote unquote attachments, but the true attachment is tagged in the header of the email, so you can filter that out.
right. But I mean, I totally see what you're saying, but also think about like what if they send a form and it's the wrong form and then they send it again? And now you've got two, you don't know which one's what, and now you got to manage like the erroneous one.
I mean, you wouldn't
I mean,
manage that either.
a toggle would maybe make sense, but I could kind of see a route where this gets confusing to manage on the back end once you've got everything collected. Now you got to sort through it all.
I mean, I have clients that are like very frustrated about it because now they have to manage it in their inbox instead of the system. They won't adopt it in the system. And I know adding it, saying, oh yeah, the attachment comes in. Yeah, you just have to do these extra steps to lock it into that client or lock it into something. They're still going to be frustrated about it.
Makes sense. And I think that's what Kuru mentioned, that we'll have a toggle, and I think there are both sides of the coin, and there are people who might want one or the other. So yeah, eventually when we do, we'll be most likely adding a toggle where if someone does want, they can toggle it on or toggle it off.
Cool.
Uh,
Sam?
Hey, Ryan, thanks. I just got a couple questions on the documents. I'm sorry, the bulk opportunity edit. Will there be a bulk delete as well? I saw edits, but I didn't see a delete.
Yeah, it's not there in the current quarter's plan, but it's there. So we are planning a bunch of bulk actions for opportunities, and we have just started on it. But yeah,
Okay.
in the upcoming quarters, bulk delete would be something that we'd love to work on. But yeah, would also encourage you to upload that idea on the ideas board so that we can prioritize it faster.
Okay. Another thing related to opportunities, a lot of our opportunities are created through website forms, and on the opportunities, there's no way to look at the document or the form that was associated with that opportunity. You literally have to like click on the account. I'm sorry, the contact, and then from the contact go to the documents section. Would it be possible to look at or think about adding that in the opportunity section as well, so you don't have to go multiple steps to figure out how that opportunity or what they filled out?
Makes sense, Sam, and I have made a note of it. In the current quarter, we have started work on decoupling opportunities with contacts. So the two major things that we plan to pick up in this current quarter is decoupling the tasks and the notes. I don't have a Figma for it, so maybe in the next town hall, I would love to, discuss more on how we plan to decouple tasks and notes between contacts and opportunities. Documents is not something that we have planned for the current quarter since we are doing these two, and maybe documents can be something that we plan for the next one. But yeah, same opinion. If you could maybe upload that item on ideas board, that will be really helpful for us to be able to prioritize it faster.
Sure. And then the last question I had relating contacts, is there any update or discussions on, I see a lot of this on the board or the social media, and I've asked this before, automatically creating contacts from everything. So when someone sends a message from Instagram, we get their name, but not their phone number or email, and everything seems to automatically create a contact into the system. So then you have to go back and do quite a bit of cleaning up on what I call like junk leads or contacts. I think I brought this up before, and you guys were talking about maybe having a lead versus a contact and not making everything a contact.
Got it. I think that's one problem that we are also coming up with solutions for. We do plan to bring something called an identify duplicates and much, so that you can at least declutter a few duplicates if those are getting created, and that's planned for the current quarter, but not something specifically for this particular problem where you might want to filter out or get more information about this. that's not there in the current quarter, but I have made a note of it, and we'll see if we can prioritize something in those lines. Thank you for sharing.
This is great.
Thank you so much. And just wanted to quickly run you through a few Figmas that are currently in the works. And these are planned for current quarter again. So one big and interesting thing is opportunities. So one big use case that we have received a lot of feedback for is where you want to trigger a particular opportunity through a workflow. So maybe you have duplicate opportunities on, and you might have 5 different opportunities for a particular contact in your in your opportunities board, and using this particular workflow, you just want to trigger this specific opportunity, which might not even be the latest, and you might want to filter out this particular opportunity and just act upon it, especially if that opportunity is triggering the workflow and you want to only work on this particular opportunity that is actually triggering the workflow. So in those cases, we thought that a new action called find opportunity might be extremely helpful. So with this new action, what you will be able to do is we plan to bring in 2 different drop downs. The first one is called opportunity to be found. And in this, under this, you have 3 different possibilities. You can either pick the latest, the earliest opportunity, or you can pick the opportunity triggering the workflow. If only and only if you have an opportunity trigger in that workflow. In only those cases, you'll be able to select the third one. Otherwise, you can just pick the latest or the earliest. And this will just pick the latest opportunity that is linked to the contact in the workflow, or the earliest one that was created. You can also, not just this, you can also add in a bunch of other field filters. So you can filter out based on different opportunity standard and custom fields to be able to get to the exact opportunity that you want to act upon. And with this, you should be able to, narrow your search down to a particular opportunity that you want to take an action on in the subsequent workflow actions, or even use that opportunity's custom fields or custom as custom values in a mail or a SMS that you might be composing in the subsequent actions. I think there's a question.
Yeah,
Next.
Dutch Saxon, I know that was from earlier. What do you got?
I got a question about the documents that are attached to the emails. Is that also going to internal notification if you use email? Are you able to do that as well?
I'm sorry, Dutch, I didn't understand the question.
So we're talking about documents that we can attach as an attachment to the emails, right?
Yeah,
Previously.
so any attachment that you're sending, you can add that in the contact documents.
So are we now able to use that, for example, if we fill out a form, we can create a document right now. Are we able to attach that document as a PDF to an email that is going out?
Not yet, Dutch, but I think that's a different team, documents and contracts. And I think you're talking about proposal and estimates. Let me share their email ID and you can reach out to them.
Oh, yeah, I have their group, so of the link, so I can ask them. No, I thought it was the same thing, so I just want to clarify if it was the same or not.
Yeah, I'll share that like email ID on the chat itself.
Awesome. Thank you.
Good, Pallavi.
Awesome. The next thing is something that we actually started touching upon before our town hall started, which was about how company and business name go hand in hand, and what are our plans for it. So one thing that's planned for this current quarter is giving companies a lot more functionalities and a lot more power than what it has today. And we plan to bring in features like custom fields for companies and also associations that we just saw. And hopefully by the end of this current quarter, you should be able to see companies having all those functionalities that we were also talking about for custom objects, including the workflows that we're building for custom objects. We'll also bring in those for companies as well. And one thing that we also wanted to touch upon was this particular automation. And this particular automation, what it does is the business name field value that we currently have under a contact, we automatically start migrating. So basically, as soon as you turn on this particular automation in your sub account, what it does is it will create new companies for all the different business name field values that you might have in your contacts page. And also going forward, every time a contact's business name is updated, a corresponding company also gets created for that particular contact, and it is also linked to that particular contact. So that was something that we used to do so far. And we introduced this in the beginning when we were just building out companies, because a lot of our users had used business names in the past, and this was to ease the migration and ease the creation of companies for them so that they don't have to put in all of that effort again. But since companies has been there for quite some time now, what we plan to do is stop running that migration. We will still continue to support the creation of new companies as and when you create new business names, add new business names in contacts going forward on a going forward basis. But the already created business names will stop migration. We will not do it immediately. We will be sending out a notice to all of you guys at least a month in advance, so that you have enough time to be able to migrate all of your business names to companies before we sunset that particular migration. But yep, that's something that we plan to do. And I just wanted to call it out to everyone in the town hall as well, so that we could hear your feedback on this. But yeah, eventually, maybe not in the current quarter, but maybe eventually in a couple of quarters, when we have companies at the same level and we have all those filters that we currently have, the business names and wherever you are using them, we will slowly start gradually moving the business name field out and using companies on all of those places, so that there is no more confusion. I think the discussion that we were having, when new users join in, there is a confusion between the business name and the company name. And so to avoid that, we will gradually move to one single field called company. So that was one major thing that we're working on and want to talk about. Next is another very big feature. So currently, we have three standard objects, which are contacts, opportunities, and companies. And currently, this is the name that it has. With custom objects coming in, we also wanted to make the already existing objects more powerful. And for that, we plan to roll out a feature through which you will be able to rename these particular objects to a name of your choice. For example, if you want to change the name of contacts to something like clients or customers or even businesses for that matter, the functionality and every other thing remains exactly the same, but you will have an option to be able to rename this particular object to a name of your choice. And that should start reflecting on all the front end. The internal name or the key for all of your APIs would still remain unchanged. This is going to be a front end only update that will be there, through which you can like cosmetically at least start showing the updated name across all of your different pages on the or basically customize your agency to your choice.
Cool.
So that's
Is that going to override current CSS? Because I know a lot of people use that hack.
Yeah, so this will be an optional thing. It's not something that you have to do. We will still continue to default the names to the current ones. But if someone does want to, they can change it as well. Cool. The next big feature is, and this is another really big feature that has been, highly requested, which is an option to search using more fields or search using different fields on contacts, opportunities, etc. So just let me quickly check if I have the screen, or give me a second so that I can pull off the screen for this. Sorry, just bear with me for a second.
No worries.
Uh-huh. So I will. Cool. But yeah, quickly giving you a brief of what we are planning here. So we will continue to support around 6 fields for contacts and opportunities. But instead of hard coding it to 6 different fields that you were able to search based on, you will have an option to select the different fields that you want to basically search upon. And this will be a sub account setting that you can update, and this will be available for admins for now. But yeah, you'll be able to select a particular object, and this will be true for all the different objects. So for contacts and opportunities, we will be starting off with 6 different fields that you can search upon. And for custom objects, we will have the number 3 different fields that you can search upon, but that will be customizable for you. So you can select what are these 6 different fields or the 3 different fields that you want to search based on. And once you click on confirm, this will update that setting for that entire location and will start reflecting.
Very
So
cool.
yeah.
Love that
And
idea of customizing the search.
we have received so many requests for people wanting to search based on, I think, the source for their opportunity for a particular field, a custom field, and I think this should be able to solve for all of those use cases. So really excited for this feature.
Very cool.
Cool. I think there was just one last feature that I quickly wanted to show you guys, and you sort of got a sneak peek of it with the recurring tasks. So we are also updating the UX for the task list. So the current task list has limited features. This is more of a cosmetic, or let's say a usability feature that we are planning. And this also brings in a bunch of other features for tasks, and we are also upgrading tasks a lot in the current quarter, where we are also decoupling it with opportunities, bringing in recurring, bringing in more reminders, a lot of and a bunch of updates for tasks. But this is one of the cool updates as well, where we will update it to a completely new and reformed task list view. We also plan to bring in smart lists, and these are some standard default, not really smart lists or default lists, where you can quickly filter out to the tasks that are due today or overdue. You can also filter based on certain different filter fields and sort the task list based on a bunch of different columns. You can manage and add or remove columns from this particular task list. So all of those will be customizable for you with this updated task list view. Even the new task creation panel, which is currently a modal, we are also planning to bring an upgrade to that with this new sidebar. So you'll have the title, you can, I mean, like the fields are still the same, but it's much more easier. There's an enhancement where you can just create and add another, so you don't have to create, close the modal, go and create again and keep on creating multiple tasks. You can just click on create and add another, so you can quickly create multiple tasks back to back in one go without having to, saving at least 2 clicks for you. And yeah, that was one more thing that we wanted to quickly share and discuss.
Very cool. Love all the task functionality. This is getting a lot closer to a usable system for a lot of folks. So
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. So that brings us to the end of today's town hall. And please keep on sharing your ideas. Please keep on sharing the feedback that helps us grow and work on around things.
Charles,
yeah.
Is with the redesign of task and bringing more features to task, is it going to end up is it going to continue to stay nested in the menus, or is it going to come out to more of a highlighted object?
Yeah, we do plan to bring in a certain set of hierarchy on the left panel because uh, since tasks, we are also planning to bring in tasks for opportunities. It is going to get, out of this entire contact zone and it'll become an independent and not an object, but like an entity in itself. So
Yeah.
we do plan to bring it out of the hidden view, and we plan to bring in a nested sort of a structure on the left bar of your page eventually. But yeah, that's something that works.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so basically with custom objects rolling out, of course, that's going to add more left-hand menu items. The marketplace adds an ungodly amount of left-hand menu items because every app is a different menu item. So you're saying that there's a rethinking, retooling going on of how the heck we're going to manage all this stuff on the left-hand sidebar?
Yeah, yep, exactly. And we do plan to bring in maybe something like a drop down, which can be stemming out of this left hand bar, like a second drop down.
Yeah.
Something
And
like
not just that, Charles.
Yeah.
So we
That-
actually have a
something that we can, that we are. Yeah.
What were you saying, Prue?
So my network is actually bad, but yeah, so we actually have a different team who's working on allowing you the capabilities to customize the side panel as well. You can move things up and down. You can hide some things. You can probably add some things as favorites as well. So once that comes in, I think all of this will become easier for us to do as well and for you to manage.
Right.
And
Yeah, I mean, I know it crosses a lot of different teams, so yeah.
Yeah, but we've definitely discussed this a lot internally and essentially just giving users or admins flexibility to create whatever menu, order, and view that they want to. So
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I mean,
that's
it's not bad when you're on a desktop, and a large monitor, but you get on a 16-inch laptop and that bar gets pretty scroll heavy.
yeah,
So
for sure. Yeah, I'm with you 100%. Dutch Texan.
I got a question about custom fields. We have a field for pick the date. Is there in the planning to do and pick a time? If not, I need to put that on the idea board.
I'm sorry, custom fields. Can you come again with the question?
So we have a date picker, but he's asking, do we have plans for a time picker as a custom field type?
Not planned for the current quarter. And we have
Ideas
made
boarded
a
it.
note of it. Yeah, but ideas board would be super helpful to prioritize.
So should I put it on the idea board or is that so? Yes?
I
Yeah,
have made
throw it
note of
on
it,
there.
but
I
yeah,
mean, I'll do
ideas
a
board
quick
would be
search and see if it's there, but just throw it on there.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, Dutch, do a search and see if it's there first, and then you can add to it. Try and keep some things consolidated.
And I think
already
that's for
there.
everyone. So I did message a lot of people to add things to the ideas board. So please just do a search. And if there's one, either send that over to us over an email and upvote that or put a comment there so that it gets going again and more people are able to join in.
Yeah, Ryan,
Yeah,
do you want them? They can tag me and you if they're unsure, and we can try to find like a related one or something, right? Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
That's it from any other questions, anything else you can share that I should go to? Otherwise, we are done. And I think we are 15 minutes late also. So thank you so much. Your
Looks
attention.
amazing, guys. Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Have a great
thanks so much. Thanks for the participation. Custom objects obviously is a huge thing to wrap my head around as well. So great work on this. We'll continue forward, but it's going to be a massive, massive feature. So
yeah.
You guys gonna have a siloed custom objects town hall? Because that's gonna be a lot to handle.
yeah, we probably will. We're breaking. I talked about this at the beginning of the call, but we're breaking this one out. So some of the AI components are going to be a different meeting now. We'll probably do the same for custom objects as that continues forward. Because yeah, there's so much there to go through.
We should just do daily town halls.
We do.
Weekends too, right?
Yeah, sure. Do and sleep.
Yeah, makes sense.
Very cool. Well, thanks so much for sharing, guys. Great work on what's coming up. We appreciate the feedback from you all as well. And we will see you on the next one.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
Take care,
everyone.
everybody.